Mary never imagined that a small smartphone could make her feel so embarrassed. Standing amidst a family gathering, she froze as her 10-year-old granddaughter Emma navigated the screen like a tech wizard, while Mary couldn't even figure out how to turn on the smartphone her son had gifted her over a year ago. The chuckles around her, whether intentional or not, made her cheeks flush. "Am I really this outdated?" she thought to herself, trying to hold back her discomfort. At 72, Mary had recently retired after over 40 years of working. She lived in a cozy suburban house, surrounded by a garden full of flowers and cheerful birds chirping every morning. For Mary, life felt simple and fulfilling. She didn't feel the need to change anything, until one day everything made her reconsider. Mary had always been content with her life, before technology became an integral part of society. She grew up in an era where landline telephones were a luxury, and people stayed connected through handwritten letters. To Mary, having a basic cell phone to make calls and send text messages was enough. Her trusty old phone, a basic model with physical buttons, had been her loyal companion for years. Mary appreciated its simplicity and ease of use. She just had to dial a number, press call, and chat with her friends or family. There were no apps, no camera, and no constant notifications to distract her. Everything felt slow and familiar, just like the rhythm of life she enjoyed. However, this peaceful life sometimes made Mary feel disconnected from the world around her. Family gatherings increasingly became moments of alienation for her. While everyone shared photos on Facebook, laughed at TikTok videos, or discussed the meals they ordered through apps, Mary sat quietly, smiling politely, even though she didn't understand a word of what they were saying. One day, her son Daniel noticed how she seemed left out of these conversations. For her birthday, he surprised her with a shiny new smartphone. "Mum, this is super easy to use. I'll teach you how," Daniel said with a confident smile. Mary felt touched, but also deeply apprehensive. Mary tried turning the phone on at first, but the act of just touching the screen confused her. There were no physical buttons, no clear instructions. She clumsily swiped her finger across the screen, but everything seemed alive in a way she couldn't control. After a few failed attempts, Mary quietly put the smartphone away in a drawer and returned to her old phone. "It's okay, I don't need this to live," she told herself. But deep down, Mary knew that wasn't entirely true. The world was changing rapidly, and she feared that if she didn't catch up, she would only drift further away from her family. As time passed, Mary increasingly felt like an outsider in the modern world. Each time her children or grandchildren visited, she was happy to see them, but also saddened by how absorbed they were in their phones. One day, during Emma's birthday party, Mary faced one of her most embarrassing moments. The family had gathered for a group photo, and Daniel handed Mary his phone, asking her to take the picture. Mary held the phone nervously, trying to find the camera button, but she couldn't. She pressed random parts of the screen, only to accidentally play a video instead of taking a photo. Everyone laughed. "It's okay, Mom, let me do it." Daniel chuckled as he took the phone back. Though the laughter wasn't meant to hurt, it left Mary feeling humiliated. The shame didn't. And there, another time, while out for coffee with an old friend, Mary watched as her friend quickly ordered their drinks using a phone app. "Mary, don't you use this app? It's so quick, and you get a discount," her friend asked with surprise. Mary shook her head and watched silently as her friend navigated the app with ease. She felt the gap between herself and the world widening. Mary didn't dare ask her son or granddaughter for help, fearing they'd lose patience or laugh at her. She'd heard stories of older people being mocked by children for being outdated. She didn't want to be a burden or a joke to anyone. Her fear wasn't just about using the phone, it was about losing her confidence in her own home. "If I can't keep up with technology, will I still belong in my family?" she wondered, tucking the smartphone back into its drawer once again. But the more she avoided the phone, the more trapped she felt. She longed to video call Emma like her friends did with their grandchildren. She wanted to search for recipes on her own, instead of waiting for her son to print them out. Yet, the thought of learning something new filled her with anxiety. What if I can't do it? What if I make a mistake? What if they laugh at me? Mary's transformation began with a simple conversation one morning. At a church gathering, she met her old friend Linda, who was the same age but seemed so confident using her smartphone. "Mary, do you know how to make a video call? I called my grandson in New York yesterday. It's like he was sitting right in front of me," Linda said, her eyes sparkling with excitement. Mary shook her head. "I don't even know how to turn my phone on, Linda. That stuff is probably just for young people." Linda laughed kindly and held Mary's hand. "You know, I used to think the same thing. But then I told myself, if a 6-year-old can learn this, why can't I? We're not stupid, Mary." Those words stuck with Mary. She realized her fear wasn't about not knowing. It was about not trying. If Linda can do it, so can I, Mary thought. From that day, she decided to make a change. She started small. This time, instead of struggling alone, Mary asked Daniel for help. "Daniel, I want to learn how to use this. But I need you to go slow, okay?" she said, slightly embarrassed. Daniel was surprised but thrilled. "Of course, Mom. Let's start with the basics," he replied. Daniel patiently showed her how to unlock the phone, make calls, and even take photos. With each new step, Mary felt a small sense of accomplishment. She also joined a local tech class for seniors at the community center. There, she met others like herself, struggling with the same challenges. Together, they laughed at their mistakes and celebrated their progress. The young instructor, Tom, reassured them, "There's no such thing as a silly question." That encouragement gave Mary the confidence to ask questions without fear. Mary's life slowly began to change in ways she never expected. She searched for a recipe online for the first time, made a delicious apple pie, and felt proud when Daniel complimented her. She learned to use her banking app, saving herself the hassle of trips to the bank. But what brought her the most joy was reconnecting with her family. She video called Emma and listened to stories about school. She joined the family group chat, sharing little updates from her day and sending heart emojis she'd learned from her tech class. Beyond her family, Mary even found a new community online. She joined a gardening group on Facebook where she shared photos of her blooming flowers and exchanged tips with people from all over. Mary no longer felt like she was being left behind. Instead, she felt empowered and connected in ways she never thought possible. Mary's story is a powerful reminder. It's never too late to learn something new. No matter your age, all it takes is a little determination to conquer your fears and embrace change. Technology doesn't have to be intimidating. It can open doors to new connections, discoveries, and joy. Want to feel more confident in today's tech-driven world? Don't forget to hit subscribe to explore more helpful topics designed just for seniors. Whether it's learning to use a smartphone or staying safe online, we're here to guide you every step of the way. Let's start your tech journey today.